still on the money. We still on the money.
Yeah, you right, man. Making money is me, man.
10 years, man, you're gonna have matching Benzes?
10 years? I think more like 10 days, man. 10 days.
So let's go ahead and get into it. There's this guy, he was an Amazon worker making $50,000 a year. Now he's making $432,000 a year working at Amazon, and why he left. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Think that where they are is kind of a little bit of a limitation or a box. Combo over salad with the sauce on the side. But oftentimes, if you go above and beyond and find ways to do things that will help you, it'll oftentimes also help the company. The sort of nature of experimentation gives people the freedom to grow their career in the direction they want. My name is Nabil Khan. I'm 27 years old, and I went from making $50,000 a year to over $430,000 in just 5 years while I was at Amazon. I started at Amazon as an operations manager, managing a warehouse floor. From there, I moved over to a project management role and then formally transitioned to the senior product management title. Over the course of the next 1 to 2 years, ended up being responsible for the roadmap for all the tools used to build almost all of Amazon's warehouses around the world.
All right, let me see. I kind of missed some of that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
27 years old, and I went.
So 27 years old, went from earning 50K to 430K at Amazon in 5 years. Shit.
From making $50,000 a year to over $430,000 in just 5 years while I was at Amazon.
There you are. So Neville worked at Amazon 2020 to 2025.
I started at Amazon as an operations manager, managing a warehouse floor. From there, I moved over to a project management role and then formally transitioned to the senior product management title. Over the course of the next
In the course of a year? Huh. Interesting.
The 2 years, ended up being responsible for the roadmap for all the tools used to build almost all of Amazon's warehouses around the world.
He's now the co-founder and CEO of Skill Access, which creates AI product managers for non-tech companies. Oh, okay.
I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur pretty early in my life. I always saw the life of an entrepreneur as being relatively high reward, but also having a high degree of variability. And it's almost like a constant fun adventure.
All right, so let's break that down. So he says, Nabil majored in material science and engineering at the University of Michigan.
I left the University of Michigan on May 2nd, and I started working at Amazon on May 11th. So there was very little downtime in between when I left and when I started.
Yep. That's typically what happens too. So if you come out of school and you go straight to Amazon, come out of college, I know there's a program too. You can instantly become an L4 coming out of school versus somebody who just started working there. So then you start at the bottom of the bottom unless you got some experience. Other than that, you're gonna start off as an L3. If you have experience, you're gonna start off as an L3. If you don't have experience, you're gonna start off as like an L1.
Group of roughly 100 warehouse associates. I was responsible for overseeing their daily performance. It was a really interesting time kind of post-pandemic because everybody was really focused on social distancing and working from home, and that just didn't exist for me. I started every single day with 100 people coming directly up to my face and asking me where they should be working. My next step that I was looking towards was the project management space, and I eventually always had my eyes on moving to the product or software space. I wanted to move into this space because of the fact that that industry changed more and there was more exciting projects, but also because of the fact that those jobs paid more too. So what I did is looked around the warehouse that I was in and found opportunities for me to create new projects that I could use to build a portfolio to get me to the project management role. I ended up getting funding from the site's general manager, from our safety teams, as well as creating a project opportunity that involved the entire building. This, as well as a few other opportunities I identified, were what really helped me move to that project manager opportunity. The career of product management is all about looking a few years in the future, devising a plan, and working backwards from there. I did the same thing with my career. And so when I thought about the mentors I wanted to have, what I did is looked at people who were a few steps ahead of me, and then maybe 5 to 10 steps ahead, and asked them for advice on the skills they had built and the areas in which their careers had grown. I learned how to code by using a software bootcamp from Georgia Tech, which I did over the course of about 6 months. I was always finding ways to be creative about the role that I was currently in, going above and beyond to find ways that I could apply that next role, and both building my career progress as well as the skills for where I wanted to go. I'm very fortunate that my girlfriend's law school stipend covers about half of the expenses for the apartment. We largely split rent as well as some of the utilities and water.
Well, ladies, look at that. You got a man, you got a boyfriend and a girlfriend. One is in law school, one out here making $432,000 a year, and they split the motherfucking rent. And they look happier than ever. She about to become, see what I'm saying, bro? Y'all don't be...
kind of come with it. So there's a couple $100 other that are covered by that stipend too. Anywhere on average per month, I'm spending about $5,000, which matches the income that I have currently. Most of that expense is going towards food, insurance, and rent.
Now, let's see what he done. Let's see transportation, which I'm pretty sure I don't see him driving the car, so he probably used public transportation from what it looks like. Food, $1,200, rent, $21, health insurance, $289. Business expense, $198. Damn, you ain't spending that much on business? Not bad. Subscriptions, $143. Discretionary, $93.
It's money. Transportation, thankfully in New York, is a much smaller amount. I don't have to pay for a car or parking. Yep. I will use the subway for most of the time that I get around. But one of the things that I do like is just going out to restaurants with my friends and girlfriend, and that's probably one of the few sort of luxuries that I really keep for myself too. When I was at Amazon, I was a little lucky to actually have a lower cost of living that enabled me to save more of my money. I was doing a lot of travel between New York and Atlanta at the time, staying both with my girlfriend for a few weeks, doing a lot of work-related travel, and staying with some family. I was able to save a lot of money on rent since I didn't have to pay a continuous place to live. I was saving upwards of about 80% of what I was making on a month-to-month basis.
Damn.
My financial goal is to have an overall net worth of $1 million by the time I'm 30. This feels like a relatively high milestone because of the fact that I've been working in high net worth jobs for a while, as well as the fact that I want to be able to enter this next stage of my life with a high degree of certainty and financial stability.
So some of y'all, you got the blueprint right now. So if you work at Amazon and you are at L1, L2, L3, L4, wherever the case may be, wherever your position is right now, wherever you at, and this is not strictly for Amazon, this is for anywhere. Look at the positions in which that you want to be in. Ask questions. Go and learn from these people. I promise you, a lot of them are willing to help. They're willing to guide you in the right direction. And listen, you got to learn to speak up. Nobody else gonna speak up for you. Ask questions. You see somebody doing something that may interest you, like, hey man, what is it that you're doing? What is it that I need to do? I'm doing this right now. What steps do I need to take? You know, can you help properly guide me so that way that I'm taking the proper steps to get to where I'm trying to get to?
I knew that my time at Amazon was going to be eventually limited. I actually had originally planned to leave earlier, but it just didn't feel right yet. I always had the dream of owning my own company at the forefront of technology when I grew up. And technology was an area where I always found I could innovate and also do something new every single day.
I used to work for Amazon for a while, so pretty familiar with at least AWS base stack.
I was reaching my late 20s, and so it felt like a great time to continue taking risks in my career. Thankfully, because of my career at Amazon, I was able to amass about $650,000 over the course of my 5 years there, which gave me a really good financial cushion to leave my job with.
Basically engineering roles to engineering.
Yeah, and I also started at it was the space you were working with.
Initially, I was using my own savings to cover the cost of doing my business, but about 2 to 3 months in, I was able to start paying myself back. Nice. And now at this point, because I'm making about what my living expenses are, I'm no longer having to rely on my own savings to continue funding the company.
That's dope.
For the near term, especially the next 1 to 2 years, I will probably be focusing largely just on making sure the company continues to run and grow. Usually I spend about, on average, 80 hours a week working. And if I'm not working, I'll be spending my time with my friends and family or taking care of my health in the gym. And that's frankly all I do. I think a successful life to me is one that balances work as well as time with family and friends. If I can have a really successful business and a really successful family life, that's kind of all that I'm trying to optimize for. And wherever that journey takes me is where I'm willing to go.
Is it
the biggest thing I've learned during my career at Amazon that's helped both me and a ton of the people that I've mentored is to just be creative about what you can do in your current environment. People oftentimes think that where they are is kind of a little bit of a limitation or a box. Having the agency to just look around corners.
Hey, listen, that's what's up, bro. Listen, at the end of the day, there's a lot of opportunities out here, bro. You just got to be willing to look. You got to open your eyes and see. You got to start opening your mouth and talking to people, having conversations. That's literally what you got to do. The world is moving towards, there's a lot of companies moving towards AI right now. There's a lot of things that you can do in AI. There's a lot of different things that you can do. You just got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to start opening your eyes and looking and doing the research and asking questions and talking to people. Simple as that, bro. Real talk. Simple as that. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit that bell notification, dog.
Listen, your savings account is robbing you blind. But don't worry, I found out a way how to make my money work for me in my sleep, and I can help you do the exact same thing. Now, this isn't no get rich quick scheme. This isn't no pyramid scheme. This isn't something just trust me situation. This is legit, and this is something that your every average day person can implement in their lives, and they can really get to a bag. This isn't a short-term play. It's a long-term play. There's a promo going on right now, so you definitely want to jump on it before the price goes up because this is too valuable. The link is in the description, and hey, let's get our money up.